Alrighty, so I'm visiting my brother, and he's on the short end of the stick when it comes to the truth about the health scares that are going on today. Uh, he's one of the only people who've been supportive of me, so it's kind of unfortunate. His health isn't at the best. But he's disabled, so he has, you know, a direct connection to the healthcare industry, like my parents did. Well, like everybody I know does. Um, well, not everybody. But the people in my life that need help from the medical system uh, because of the hysteria uh, and the lack of actual health knowledge, in the health system. Uh, their health keeps deteriorating faster than it really should. But and then you have the strings being pulled in Palestine, Iran, Israel, and the United States. People who think that they're the good guys because they think that they know how things need to be in order to fix things, and most of them don't realize that what they're doing is actually making the problems worse. It's like when the people in India were split up by the West, or I should say Western ideas that were believed by the upper classes of India, believed that people should be separated, and when they separated out the Muslims and pushed them to Pakistan, they believed that that would give them peace. Now, I don't know if anybody's been able to see through the suffering that they've been forced to endure that keeps us all blind, but uh, it didn't help. you know, there's still there's still conflict based on religion because people don't know what religion is really supposed to be. There's the truth that's the foundation of all religions. And then the differences in the religions are because different people have different histories with God. When you're aware that God is part of your history, it gets written into it from a perspective of people who are uh, interacting with God and God's creation. They'll have different names for it. They might even have different names for the different things God does. And, it looks like it's polytheism, but it's just the kind of relationship the people have with God. It's hard to understand if you don't know who God is and what God is and the actual kinds of things God allows. What ends up happening with the false religions is people do things that aren't with God, that is against what God's natural order, if you want to call it that, actually is. Um, the natural order is seen as primitive, is seen as foolish or illogical, because the people who don't know God, they need all that logic just to be able to get through life because nothing makes sense to them. Everything is mysterious, and they believe that their science will uncover the truth. But all they end up doing is repeating World War One and World War Two, or the American Civil War, which is mirrored around the world, which in the end just gets rid of people who disagree. It pits people, of supposedly different religions against each other. to prove that the religious are the ones who are the problem. Now, I'm not saying that the people pulling the strings are that smart, uh, because they're lost in their own suffering, and they basically live with blinders on, so they don't really understand what's going on. I mean, that's not 100% true either. There's people who do know what they're doing, and they believe that they're right in doing what they do. Um, like Bill Gates and the activist communities and cults. So they can't have people getting along and being at peace because they believe that there's too many people, and they believe that they need to be in charge of everything. Otherwise, everything goes into anarchy. Everything that is out of their control, they consider anarchy and primitive. So, it's the exact same beliefs that the Nazis believed. It's the exact same belief that the elites always believe, the ones that run the empire and all the empires that have ever existed. Uh, they don't really do anything, and when they do, they make everyone suffer because the slaves are supposed to do everything, and the middle management are supposed to do everything. I'm a member of the middle management. I'm supposed to be helping maintain order. I'm supposed to be enforcing the science that they religiously believe, even though when you get into questioning it, you find out that a lot of them don't believe it either. They just believe that the end result, the control that's maintained, is the most important thing in the world, because that's what the upper class, that's their religion. That's how they're able to stay upper class. The upper class are just people who don't actually do anything, and they make it look like they need to make the decisions with the disasters and wars that they actually create, that make us helpless, and ask them for help. You know, it's really crazy if you actually know what's going on, but they keep us lost in our suffering so that we can't know, and they watch all of us enough that if we do start questioning things and digging into the truth, um, if we do, then they do what they need to do to stop it. They create more suffering until we stop, and if we don't, then they create wars to get rid of people that everyone that's disobedient cares about, like they did in Ukraine. They got rid of a lot of the men and left the women helpless and the children helpless, and the people who were in charge, which also include a lot of women, uh, they left the country, like they always do, crying that they're the victims, when in reality they're part of the string pulling community. They're the ones that do all the things that need to be kept secret. Whether everyone needs to be made to go to war or not, they have tactics that they've used for a very long time. It's what they call the things that work. It works, so that's how they do it. That's their logic. So, and they never appreciated the help I tried to give, because they just don't. There's nothing I could do to say it right. If I acted the way they wanted, it would be easier for them to make it look like however they want, because it doesn't matter what I say. What matters is how everyone interprets it. The everybody's always interpreting everything wrong, and it's not just me. It's the same with the religions. The religions are all interpreted wrong. You know, they're interpreted in a way that makes it easy to control everybody. So, anyways, it's almost 10 minutes. So that's my summary for today. Good luck, everybody. Don't believe don't believe everything you hear when it comes to what's going on. They need you to be part of the solution, so to speak.